everyone. You're listening to the Elisa Fucci Show. I'm your host, Elisa Fucci. I'm a motivational speaker, podcaster, an international best-selling book author, relationship life coach, and certified breathwork detox facilitator. They say real love takes work. Let me and experts from all over the world help you make being in a relationship fun and easy. Hello. Welcome to today's podcast episode. I am so excited for today's episode. I have a special guest with me, and I am excited because I believe someone or more than one of you is going to benefit from today's podcast. And I pray that it is whatever is said lands just for you, especially if you are needing a little bit of support, a little bit of help this week. And I pray that it is exactly what you needed to hear. I love hearing comments from people reaching out to me and saying that was exactly what I needed to do. And I hope and pray that today's podcast episode with my guest will do that just for you, and that you'll get clarity, you'll get answers to your prayers, you'll get peace, you'll get calm from something that is said in this podcast episode. And going on what I wanted to talk about and what I've been focusing on my social media and my recent podcast episodes is all about choosing yourself in a healthy way to empower you in your relationships, and doing it in a way that is from a loving place where it helps you balance all your relationships, not detach yourself from everyone and kind of put yourself in a corner where you're all alone. Choosing you means that you get to keep all of your relationships and enhance all of your relationships. So today's guest is going to talk more about this, and we'll just go and see where this takes us. And I'm going to introduce my guest. My guest is Heidi Bee, the divorce comeback coach. She is a certified and trauma-informed divorce coach and somatic breathwork facilitator. Yay. Her comeback course is and coaching community gives women the exact roadmap, resources, and relationships they need to navigate their new normal and get their life back after divorce. She's also the host of the podcast Divorce Comeback Coach, where she hosts candid conversations with truth talk and tips to start taking your next best step now towards the life you deserve and desire. All right, Heidi, welcome to our podcast.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you nailed it. I love connecting and serving women in this space as a divorced woman myself. In 2015, went through divorce and got stuck in the divorce ditch. I just got stuck there. And it wasn't until I learned the tools and practices that I not only embody, but coach now, that I was able to pull myself out of that ditch. So I'm super passionate about sharing all those things, and so grateful to be here with you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and adding value to the world. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. So I kind of wanted to go over how to start taking care of yourself, how to start saying yes to yourself, choosing yourself. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the first thing to doing that is healing yourself. You can't move forward unless you move back, unless you take a step back and look at your past and heal your past and heal your relationships, heal yourself. So let's talk a little bit more about that. You have a little thing, a little phrase that you use, and I want you guys to hear it, because she talks about how curiosity or is the cure. And she spells it like CUR OSITY, and how that's the cure for healing the relationship with yourself and with others. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I think that how you start choosing yourself is quite the process. I think you have to desire the change. You have to get to the point in your journey. And sometimes that point is when our pain threshold is so high and intolerable. Unfortunately, a lot of times, and I myself included, this is the point that I got to in my divorce journey, was I got tired of laying on the bathroom floor crying, hyperventilating, crying. I got tired of using numbing agents like food or wine or over socializing or working, like overworking. I call these the divorce distractors. And I got so sick and tired of using the divorce distractors as unhealthy coping mechanisms that I finally decided to go, I'm going to fight for myself. And so, how we start choosing ourselves is first we get to that threshold of enough. I've had enough of the life that I have been choosing. Because we also have to understand that we're choosing to sit in a lifestyle and that we're participants in the creation of and the path of our lives. We're participants and we have other influences. And depending on your belief systems, whatever those are tied to, um, you believe you're in partnership with the universe or with God, or maybe you're just in partnership with environmental things. But we're in partnership with creating things. So you have to get kind of tired of living the way that you're living in order to get to the space of choosing yourself. This deep fierceness of choosing to do life differently, choosing to repattern, choosing to introduce things that serve you, choosing maybe to get a coach or a mentor, or choosing to listen to a podcast like yours, really choosing to start behaving differently, thinking differently, using different practices that serve you differently, whatever that looks like. There's so many things that come into choice. But the other cool thing about choosing yourself is this self sovereignty that comes in. And at first, it can feel kind of overwhelming. It can feel like, oh my gosh. And I know when I woke up as a divorced woman, the first couple of weeks, even months, I was like, I don't even know what I want. I don't even know who I am. I can't even make a choice. But you can make one conscious choice when you get fed up. You can trade your fed upness with fierceness. And so I truly believe that the practice of a comeback, which is what I do as a comeback coach, is a comeback is relentless reclamation. It is getting fiercely committed to taking back whatever it is that you feel like you lost or whatever it feels like you never had. So in my
Mhm.
case, I never actually knew deep self love. So I'm like, I'm going to get relentless about reclaiming that deep self love. I had felt joy on a huge level, and and then I lost it in divorce. I thought, oh my gosh, my joy is gone forever. And I said nope, I'm going to get fiercely committed to taking back my joy. So I really, really want people to hear that loud and clear, that you get to choose. This choosing of self is, I'm going to choose how to be fiercely committed to reclaiming things for myself. And I think that willingness, because it really is a choice and a willingness, that willingness of, okay, I'm going to do something for myself, that gets to be the most loving, compassionate thing that you'll ever do for yourself in creating your comeback. And curiosity is a huge part of that. So, curiosity, like you said, I used to always think, oh, and it's this childlike sometimes. What is that? And if think about when we're children, we ask so many questions in the most innocent way, not to be vindictive, not to be hurtful, not to be critics, not to be harmful. We ask it because we don't know. And we want to know and we want to learn. And it's just this really loving, questioning part of ourselves for no other reason than I want to figure things out. Like little kids, they just want to be little detectives. And so
Yes.
part of this like choosing of self is going, I'm going to go back to use curiosity, this childlike curiosity as the cure, as the agent for healing. That's what a cure is, an agent for healing, right? So the cure is healing the relationship to yourself and in essence, then in turn, and with others. And so if we can allow ourselves, and I know you do this with your clients, and you probably do this with yourself through your healing journey, if we can ask curious questions, a lot of people use journal prompts for this, or coaches or mentors or guides to help them find really beautiful questions that just help us understand, or I call it uncover and discover these treasures and these truths of our deep, authentic self. And when we do that, we stop making assumptions about ourselves and we challenge our current beliefs so that we can build new ones that are actually true and serve our desires.
Mm. I want to ask really quick, what are some of those curious questions that you have given your clients or that you use yourself to
Yeah.
get to help you understand, to get to uncover and discover? I love that. The deeper versions of yourself. What are some questions that our listeners can actually start asking themselves to get what's happening? Like, what would that look like?
Oh, I love this question so much. And I wish I had thought of this beforehand because there's a million of them. But when you're on the spot, it's kind of like, what is it? But one of the questions that comes up almost every single session that I have with my clients is, and if you can journal on this, and again, you need to come in from a curious, compassionate, loving perspective. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't go, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, okay, I'm open to answering whatever this is for me. And you just sit there and you ask yourself, what do I need most right now?
Ooh.
What do I need most right now? Now, for some people, this may feel like a really difficult question. And that is because our mind is trying to figure out the quote unquote right answer. But again, if we can detach from our egos, and you and I are both trained, certified breathwork facilitators. And one of the practices that I'll use is breathwork. And it's a series of using your breath in a very specific and intentional way to detach from the mind and get into the body where our truth and our visceral knowing. Now, visceral is a deep word. It means inside yourself. It's a body-based word. So visceral is kind of like at a deep cellular level
Mm-hmm.
inside my soul. What's my soul saying? And breath work helps us detach from the mind that's trying to go, what's the answer? What's the answer? Figure it
Yes.
out. Come on, you dummy, or whatever mean words we use for ourselves, right? Like, figure it out. It relieves the pressure point and it just goes, okay, heart, what is it? What is the truth for me? And the truth for you might be different than the truth for me. And that's okay. But we get to just listen and let the answer come. And I use breath work a lot before I journal. And sometimes it's just a couple of deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And sometimes it's a little bit deeper practice. And you and I are trained in doing that. So I think that's a really beautiful question to ask is what do I need most right now?
I love that question because it it gives you it can go as deep as you want. And
Yes.
and
Yes.
I do this in my consults because most women don't take the time to ask themselves that. So I give my consults, every woman that comes in, the opportunity to just say what they want. And it's
Yes.
funny because at first what happens is you'll give me the material things, the same things you've been telling me for and telling everyone for the past year or so. And they're usually things that they're on auto response, but I usually just keep asking the same question. What do you want? What do you want? What do you
Yes.
really want? What do you want? And I keep asking that. And as I keep asking that same question and give them the space to just answer, the truth comes out. And it's usually accompanied with tears because it finds